Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're tackling a question that feels both ancient and incredibly modern: is chivalry dead? And if it is, why are we still so fascinated by it? Why do we yearn for knights in shining armor, even in a world that seems to have left them far behind? To explore this, we are going to dive into one of literature's greatest and most misunderstood masterpieces, Miguel de Cervantes' Don Quixote. Most people know the basic image: a lanky, slightly mad old nobleman, mistaking windmills for giants and charging at them with a lance. It's a comical, almost pathetic picture. But what if I told you that this single image holds a profound secret about the human condition, about our dreams, and about our desperate attempts to find meaning in a world that often feels meaningless? Let's set the scene. The story is about Alonso Quijano, a minor nobleman in La Mancha, Spain. He's lived a quiet and remarkable life. But as he enters old age, he becomes obsessed with books of chivalry, tales of heroic knights, damsels in distress, and epic battles against sorcerers and dragons. These stories consume him. They become more real to him than his own mundane existence. So, he makes a decision. A radical, absurd decision. He decides he will become a knight-errant himself. He dusts off an old suit of armor, renames his old horse Rocinante, and christens himself Don Quixote de la Mancha. He even invents a lady-love, an idealized peasant girl whom he calls Dulcinea del Toboso, dedicating his heroic deeds to her. He then sets out into the world, accompanied by his loyal, down-to-earth squire, Sancho Panza, to right wrongs and live out the fantasies he's only read about. This is where the famous windmill scene comes in. Don Quixote sees a field of windmills and, in his delusion, perceives them as monstrous giants. Sancho Panza, the voice of reason, tries to tell him they're just windmills. But Don Quixote refuses to see reality. He sees an opportunity for glory, a chance to prove his valor. He charges, his lance shatters against a sail, and he and his horse are sent tumbling to the ground. On the surface, it's a clear defeat. A foolish old man bested by an inanimate object. This is often where the popular understanding of Don Quixote ends, a cautionary tale about the dangers of losing too much with reality. But that's only scratching the surface. The real question is not if he was defeated by the windmill, but what he was actually fighting against. Don Quixote wasn't just fighting a windmill. He was fighting against the mundane, the predictable, the soul-crushing reality of a world that had no more room for heroes. His era, the early 17th century, was a time of immense change. The old feudal order and its chivalric code were fading, replaced by a more cynical, materialistic society. The age of knights was over. The world had moved on. But Don Quixote refused to move on with it. His madness was a rebellion. It was a conscious choice to reject a disappointing reality and create his own, one filled with purpose, honor, and adventure. He chose to see giants where there were only windmills because a world with giants is far more exciting than a world without them. He chose to believe in chivalry because a world with a code of honor is better than one driven by pure self-interest. This is the core of the story's genius. Don Quixote represents the power of human consciousness to shape its own reality. We all do this to some extent, don't we? We fall in love and see our partner as the most perfect person in the world. We pursue a passion project, ignoring the naysayers who tell us it's impractical. We hold on to ideals of justice and fairness, even when the world shows us otherwise. We are all, in our own small ways, Don Quixote. His quest is a tragicomedy. It's funny because his actions are absurd in the real world. Sancho Panza's constant, earthy observations create a hilarious contrast to Don Quixote's lofty delusions. When Don Quixote mistakes a flock of sheep for an army, Sancho just sees mutton. This dynamic between the idealist and the realist is the heartbeat of the novel. But it's also tragic. Throughout his adventures, Don Quixote is mocked, beaten, and humiliated. The world constantly tries to force him to see things as they really are. People play cruel tricks on him, humoring his delusions only to laugh at his expense. He is an outcast, a walking anachronism in a world that doesn't understand or want him. So, did he triumph? In a physical sense, no. He never truly defeats a giant or rescues a real princess. His adventures are a string of failures and embarrassments. In the end, his friends and family manage to trick him into returning home. On his deathbed, he renounces his knighthood, regains his sanity, and dies as Alonso Quijano, the plain nobleman. It seems like reality finally wins. But did it? In his final moments, he apologizes to Sancho for having drawn him into his madness and promised him an island to govern. But Sancho, the realist, the one who spent the entire book trying to talk sense into his master, says something incredible. He begs his master not to die, urging him to put on his armor and go out adventuring again. The dreamer had successfully converted the realist. This is Don Quixote's true victory. He may not have changed the world, but he profoundly changed the people in it. He inspired Sancho Panza to see beyond his own pragmatic concerns and to value dreams and loyalty. And through his story, he has inspired millions of readers for over 400 years. The term quixotic has come to mean idealistic to the point of being impractical. It's often used with a negative connotation. But Cervantes shows us the beauty and necessity of being a little quixotic. Don Quixote's quest reveals a fundamental human truth. We need fiction, we need ideals, we need noble lies to make life bearable. Our ability to imagine a better world, a better version of ourselves, is what drives us forward. It's the engine of art, of progress, of love. So, let's go back to our original question, is chivalry dead? Maybe the formal code of knights and jousting is. But the spirit of chivalry, the impulse to protect the vulnerable, to stand for one's principles, to fight for a cause greater than oneself, even when it seems hopeless, that spirit is not dead. It can't be. It lives on in every activist, every artist, every parent, every person who refuses to accept the world as it is and dares to imagine it as it could be. Don Quixote didn't triumph over the windmills. He triumphed over something far more powerful: apathy. He fought against the death of the human spirit. And in that battle, his defeat was his victory. He lost every fight but won the war for our imagination. His story isn't a warning against dreaming, it's a celebration of the dreamers, the madmen who dare to charge at the windmills of their time, reminding us all that to see the world only as it is to be truly blind. What do you think? Are we all a little bit quixotic? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective on this timeless tale. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into literature and philosophy, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more content like this. It really helps us grow and continue making these videos for you. We'll see you in the next one.